If there's one word to describe this Lakers season so far, it's chaotic. And that's to be expected the second you bring in someone with the outsized influence of a LeBron James. The front office made a series of bizarre moves before the season started, moves that indicated they didn't have a sense of how chemistry works. And the person that is paid the highest price, rightly or wrongly, is Luke Walton. Last night, the underhanded Lakers gave the Warriors a run for their money, at one point going on a 14-0 run in the third to take a 9-point lead. But the subplot to all of this was JaVale McGee and Michael Beasley's performance and playing time. There was a heated altercation in the locker room after the game, adding fuel to the fire that Luke's job is in a very precarious situation. The issues with JaVale are most likely related to him losing his starting job 9 games ago. Since then, he's only hit his season average of 22 minutes twice. And in a contract year, he's got to be upset with his lack of production and how that will affect negotiations this summer. When he does get in midway through the first, the Warriors are already threatening to blow the Lakers out of the building. Needing a great shot, McGee doesn't do his job, screening his own man before diving to the block. This isn't the worst play, but he gets his elbow up too high and is called for the offensive foul. On the next time down, he's half a step slow, reacting to the great ball movement and can do nothing to stop Boogie getting the layup. When Ingram can't get anything going off the dribble, a common occurrence these days, JaVale flashes middle, tosses up a jump hook from 14 feet, and it went in. All right. This is where Luke got a little upset with JaVale. Knowing how well Boogie can shoot from 3, McGee still drops down into the paint, giving him 12 feet of space to make this shot. The number of centers you're allowed to guard this way is dwindling, and I'm not sure how JaVale could have forgotten where he was supposed to be. The Lakers look disorganized on offense, leaving McGee to just try and screen anybody in his area. To his credit, he hits another shot in the lane from 14 feet. Nothing bad had happened with JaVale in between letting Cousins shoot it and the 6-minute mark, yet there is Zubac already checking in for him after a 6-minute stretch. So it's hard to tell if Walton was yanking him or just playing him his normal amount of consecutive minutes. But it's unclear why Luke changed his mind and called Zubac back to the bench. Perhaps it was this tough rebound he got, but I have no doubt JaVale would have seen Zubac up and then down and would have been upset or confused. It didn't seem to bother him as he gets this nice alley-oop from Rondo, though. And he was inspired on this possession to really D up on Curry, forcing him into a tough shot that doesn't have a chance. But, and there's always a but, with a shot clock at 1.2, this absolutely cannot be the play Walton wanted to run. And when he doesn't recognize early enough that Klay is open on the wing coming back down, he gets a 3-ball stuck in his eye, and this game is getting out of hand. When interviewed between quarters, Luke almost directly references the 2 shots JaVale gave up from behind the arc.
Defensively, we didn't get the job done. We gave them too many easy shots.
Beasley got his first run to start the second, and a common action he gets is to ball screen and then post up at the free throw line. It gets him a drive left and a forced shot, but he gets the soft roll for 2 points. This one probably drove Luke nuts. The Warriors' main play is the low post split, and I know Luke must have told them 1,000 times to be ready for it, but Beasley is 2 steps behind on the switch, Hart has to then recover late, and Klay gets another 3. Beasley flashes the middle here and takes another contested short-range jumper, but he nails this one too for a nice shot. Beasley is forced to play center in this lineup and given credit for good energy throughout this possession to switch on to Klay, then rotate to the corner quick on the post kick out, and he pursues well to pick up Klay but ends up getting the foul. More evidence of Walton's frustration. Normally, when you see an Iverson cut like the one Ingram makes off of Beasley's screen, you'd see Beasley then turn around and set an inside ball screen. Instead, he stays at the elbow, getting in Ingram's way. Watch Walton's reaction here. It's most likely frustration at Ingram's attempt to isolate against the Warriors' best defender, but I bet part of it is that Beasley didn't run the play properly. Didn't matter though, somehow Ingram got a shot off and somehow it went in. Here's the next progression of that same play. Ingram does the Iverson cut, and Beasley goes up to set the ball screen for Lance. You can see clearly he's then supposed to flare cut off the Wagner screen. Instead, he cuts back towards the free throw line, bringing his man in the way of what Lance was doing. And this Lance shot was pretty bad, but Lance is gonna Lance, and he gets it to go in. It's really easy to miss the signs that trouble was brewing with the Lakers if you're not at the game. And the best way to solve that issue is to download the SeatGeek app and get tickets up close so you can see and hear everything. They scour the internet for the best prices, give them a grade to let you know if you're getting a good deal, and best of all, you'll save $20 off your first purchase by using my code BBall at checkout. SeatGeek, let's go! To make this game weirder, Lance wanted the refs to call a technical foul for hanging on the rim, and instead, they gave him a timeout. This is the very definition of Lance. It was reported Lance wasn't part of the altercation in the locker room, but shots like these have to be what Luke was talking about. And at the end of the first half, Lance refuses to shoot the ball at the buzzer. And it's clear Luke is upset that he's putting his personal stats over the potential to make a long-distance shot that would help the team. With JaVale back on the floor towards the end of the third, he does well to sprint back on defense, but is way late reacting to cover for Rondo's poor positioning and gets dunked on by old man Andre Iguodala. However, he does come right back and picks up KD on the switch, keeps him out of the lane, and contests the jumper into a miss. In a tight game and Rondo running the show, he throws a perfect lob and JaVale finishes it strong to regain the lead. However, with KCP missing his shoe, JaVale attempts an ill-advised drive when he should know Caldwell Pope's man is going to double, and it turns into a travel. Beasley's back in the game early in the fourth. They run that same pick and roll into post-up at the free throw line, only this time he burps up a bad long two that bricks. After getting a stop, Beasley brings the ball up himself, throws up a wild fade with Draymond all over him, and this has got to be what Luke was talking about later in the locker room as well. Lance must be competitive because he wasn't going to let Beasley have the title of worst shot of the quarter, and this one was a doozy, particularly because of the score and the time and the quarter. The game was lost in this crucial stretch, and primarily due to horrible shot selection, as Ingram doesn't have the ability to adjust to what the defense does on him, forcing up another bad shot. And this brings up a curious decision about lineups. Rondo started the fourth quarter, but right when the game started to turn in the Warriors' favor, Luke took him out. And this coincided with the run of terrible offense for the Lakers. Luke got Rondo back in the game 2.5 minutes later, but the damage was done. And while Curry was busy dancing on Zubats all the way to the rim, Beasley is out of position and does not rotate over to help. Luke is immediately off the bench and taking him out of the game for good. In the locker room, it was reported Luke called out more than just Beasley and JaVale for playing selfishly and the need to play the game the right way. Undeniably, he was referring to Lance Stevenson as well. And I'd be willing to bet he's not ecstatic with Ingram's play either, even though LeBron was not out there. This altercation was going to happen at some point, considering almost the entire team is being offered in a trade to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis. Of course they'll all be on edge, which also begs the question, where was LeBron? Why wasn't he on the bench all game? Apparently he was in Oakland, but his absence during the game was conspicuous to me, and it doesn't sound like he was involved at all in the locker room incident either. This just lends more fuel to the fire that he wants Luke out of there and is willing to do anything or not do anything to make that happen to bring AD to LA, which all just demonstrates even more that bad things happen to teams that ignore the very real power of chemistry. Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and if you like this video, I've got something even better for you. I put together a free video on my 3 favorite actions that NBA teams run on offense. I know you'll love it, and all you have to do is click on the link below. Don't forget to subscribe to BBallBreakdown and adjust your settings so you'll get notified right away. You in?